Charisma of Charisma's Corner, and we are in the Little Pink Barn. And today we are working on week 4 of Popple. And this is a great week. It's a great week because this is where we can throw as many scraps and colors in our quilt that we want to. I have sort of limited it in the instructions to what the fabric requirements were, but you definitely can just go through your scraps and add as many colors as you'd like. So they're fun blocks, easy, but there's a lot of cutting. Letting go, Popple the theme is letting go. So letting go of some scraps, maybe that we aren't using. You could have chosen some beautiful stash that you wanted to kind of hold on to. That would be a risk in a mystery quilt, which is a fun exercise for 2026. Sometimes letting go isn't always bad. Several years ago, I went on a vacation and I thought, I don't want to plan anything. I just want to see what comes to me every day. And it was a really great thing. And we have to let go of things in our lives all of the time. And sometimes that gives us relief, right? Getting rid of those excess clothes, or recycling something, or giving somebody else a chance to use something that we don't need. So in this week, I have managed to film this video 2 times and forgot to turn on camera, checking to make sure that they're all on really quick. And so I already have all of my blocks made, which is unusual. So I did cut some extra scraps just to show you, but I have 6 piano keys here because that's what we need here. I'm just doing some black and white because those were the scraps that I had. So I'll put those together just to demonstrate, but you need your number 3 and your number 5, I believe, fabrics. I should have this memorized since I've made it so many times. But the 3 and 5 have to be consistent. So whatever you've chosen for your 3 and 5, you need those to be on the top and the bottom of your piano keys. All of these can be any fabric that you want. So you can use a different fabric for each one. So we'll go ahead and sew those together. This is really where the chain piecing will help speed things up a little. And we don't have to press in between each one of these because we are just going to sew them together and there's not crossing any seams. So we're just going to go ahead and in this case, since I'm using black and white, I would probably press to the dark, but in the random colors that I had, it didn't matter, just pressing one way or the other. So we're going to need a total of 5 of these strip sets to make 5 of these blocks. So once you get that done, then you just sew your 3 and your 5 on either side, and this is what your block will look like. So you need 5 of those total. I'm just going to set that aside. This is part 1 of week 4. So I'll set those aside. Part 2, we need 2 of these blocks here. And so I have one made, and I have some units to make the other one here. So we'll go ahead and do that, but I'm going to show you how we do the magic flying geese. So we had you cut out a lot of you need your background squares and you need your focus squares for the flying geese. You can go ahead and make all of these now if you want, but we just need 16 flying geese for this week of the mystery quilt. And in order to get the variety that we need, we had you cut them out so that you're not having to waste any fabric. So if you wanted to get ahead for one of the other weeks, you can go ahead and make all of them, but you don't have to. Okay, so I've drawn the lines on my background squares here, and I'm just going to line them up diagonally here. And let's see, for some reason it is not lining up when it should. There we go. Okay, and you want this line to line up. When you do that, you're going to sew on both sides, 1/4 of an inch on both sides of that drawn line, and you want them to overlap in the middle. That's our seam allowance. That has to happen. So we're going to go ahead and sew on that line. Okay, now that we've sewn on either side of that line, we're going to go ahead and cut directly on the line. So then we get 2 of these triangles. Set one aside, we can use that later, and we're going to go ahead and press this open, and then we sort of have this heart type shape, and we're going to go ahead and put our next square right in the corner there, and again we're going to sew on both sides of that line, and we want it to overlap up there. Okay, and then again we are going to cut on that line. Okay, and then we'll just press this open. And there are our flying geese. So now all we have to do is sew these together. Okay, and you need 2 of these blocks. So 2 of these blocks is what you need, and 5 of the piano key blocks. And we have finished week 4. So be prepared. Week 5 is going to be fairly simple. We just have 2 blocks for next week. And so that gives you a little bit of time to kind of adjust and work ahead if you want to. And I hope you're enjoying this process of letting go through Popple, and I will see you next week. Follow along. Bye.